Have you ever been in a situation where you knew something was going on but didn't know what to do, so you chose not to do anything? So today we're going to talk about mental health first aid training and something that you can get involved with and take. So mental health first aid is the initial help offered to a person developing a mental health problem or in crisis until appropriate professional help can be given. So mental health first aid actually originated in Australia with a nurse practitioner and a psychiatrist. From my understanding, they were walking on the beach. Betty Kitchener, who's the nurse practitioner, also has depression, said, you know what, we have CPR and we have first aid, but what do we have to help the community to identify a mental illness and know how to respond? Hence grew mental health first aid. And so our mascot is a koala bear, which we'll talk about in our action plan here in a little bit. So what you will learn by taking mental health first aid. You'll learn about some risk factors. What puts a person at risk of developing a mental health problem? Information such as depression. What's the difference between depression and anxiety disorders? Traumatic events, psychotic disorders, and substance use disorders. We teach you a 5-step simple action plan to put into play so that when you get out in the community, whether you're a program owner, an athlete, or a parent, it's an evidence-based training as well, and it will teach you some coping skills to manage your own stress as well. So when you think about the prevalence of mental health, 1 in 4 will develop a mental illness in their lifetime. We talk about signs and symptoms. What are some things to look for? Thinking about helping those in crisis as well, what I can do, what I can say. So looking at one of the curriculums, the adult curriculum, we talk about what is mental health first aid, the problems in the United States and in your local community, understanding depression, anxiety, psychotic disorders, substance use disorders, and traumatic events, and learning how to put the action plan into play into your own community. So the 5-step action plan that I talked about, Algae, the koala bear, A stands for assess for risk of suicide or harm, learning what that means and how to assess. Listen non-judgmentally. The G stands for give reassurance and information. Encourage appropriate professional help. And what is appropriate professional help for a person that might be developing a psychotic disorder, for example? And encouraging self-help and other supportive strategies. So where mental health first aid really comes into play is the prevention, early intervention, and getting people into treatment early on. So why mental health first aid? So one of the things that I love about mental health first aid, besides the videos, besides the PowerPoint, the interactive exercises, which are a lot of fun, we help the community to identify what negative stigma is and how it can be a barrier to access to help. For example, if I asked you, what are some words that come to mind when you think of mental health? Crazy, psycho, angry, violent, all negative words. But if I asked you to think about what are some positive words, most of the time the negative would be full, the positive is blank. We usually don't have positive words. So by taking a class like Mental Health First Aid, you learn kind of to put tools in your toolbox to know how to use them. So professional help is not always on hand, and individuals with mental health problems often don't seek help, partly because of the stigma. Some of the words that we don't even realize that we use that can be a barrier. Many people are not well informed about mental health problems. They don't know themselves that they might have depression or anxiety, and they don't know how to respond. So to make it more customizable, we have different curriculums. Youth mental health first aid for our elders, for our students, law enforcement. Tenemos también primeros auxilios de salud mental. We also have mental health first aid in Spanish. So if you look at Algae, our mascot, what's happening around the nation, and you see the dark blue, it tells us there's more persons trained in that state in mental health first aid. So the different types of audiences, whether you are a program owner, you're an athlete, you're a student, you're a parent, you can use mental health first aid in your community. When you think about some of the evidence, I love it because it is an evidence-based training. It helps to increase your knowledge and understanding about mental health problems. It encourages people to seek help. It supports people getting help. It helps you to identify what negative stigma is and how it can impact an intervention. And it helps to increase your own mental wellness. So thinking about the stress of even owning a program and what that might be like and helping you to have some better coping skills. So when I think about this, I was on a plane once recently and was able to put mental health first aid action plan into play. It was powerful to see the lady sharing with me. I was able to assess the risk of suicide or harm. I listened to her non-judgmentally. I gave her reassurance and gave her information to connect with her local resources. I encouraged appropriate professional help and gave the resources and had them with me and followed up with her. Now today, it's so encouraging to hear her happy, living life, and also becoming a counselor because of the intervention that was done that day. So if you're interested in mental health first aid, to know how to identify and help, contact your USASF regional director. Thank you.